Welcome to the Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bauerle.
Welcome into Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. Like the host said, I'm Josh Kimmel. This is Justin Bauerle, and no Dave. We had Dave for half a show. The contract, his contract reads like 60 minutes per week, or I don't even know anymore at this point.
I think it's like 4 episodes a month.
4 episodes a month. Okay, all right. It doesn't break down to the minutes, but he's been doing a lot of work in the chat. Like he's actually responding. So I guess he's counting that as time.
It's like when you're on call and you have to take a phone call or like a message. You count that as part of your time. So every 5 minutes he puts in, that's an hour.
Oh,
so.
Damn, Dave. I wish I had Dave's gig. But we're here. We're here for you tonight. We're going to talk some start sits for the week coming up. We also have a game of Keep, Trade, Cut, very original. I came up with it last night as I was playing Fortnite. I'm like,
First time I've ever heard of it.
Keep, Trade, Cut. It's kind of like,
I think it's like you keep a player, you trade a player, or you cut the player. If you had to pick between those 3 options.
And I want to explain to everyone, don't take this literal. We're not telling you to cut these players. We're just saying, which one would you do if you had to do that? All right, guys. Because
I'm curious to see like what other people would say as well, because everybody's got their own opinions. It's just whether we care about them or not.
I'll tell you this quick story. Our old producer, won't say a name. We played this game before, and he just would not play along. I would never cut that guy. Why would you ever cut that guy? I'm like, no, dude, it's an experiment. It's an exercise. Like we're just saying, just rank them 1 through 3. I would never cut them. I'm like,
okay, that's not
all right. So you people in the chat, we're literally not telling you to cut. I know there's some people out there that can't comprehend it. Dave's one of them. I think that's why he's not here tonight. Because in the chat,
he's like, I hate the show.
I hate this guy. I would never cut.
But notice how Dave was like, you know what? I'll play your stupid little game.
Yes. What's up, Hunter? What's up, man? What's going on? We're playing Keep, Trade, Cut tonight. So we have 4 scenarios. We're also going to give you your starts and sits. Before I forget, make sure you follow us on the social medias. They're all right here at OUSFF Pod right here. We got YouTube, OUSFF Pod, at Fins Talk Sports Network. All of it. It's all here. But if you're on the audio side, I understand you're not listening. If you're on the audio side and you're on iTunes or Google Play, come to YouTube, because we have people, we have interactions, we got questions.
It's fun. You can put it on your TV.
Yeah, you can watch us on your television.
80 inches. Prime time, man. It's
80
Wednesday
inches
night.
of this freaking big old pie right here.
Okay, maybe stick to audio.
Audio is great, man. Audio is great. But yes, let's get on into it, man. No games today, no trivia, just straight up starts this. Now, I didn't come up with any of these. These are all Justin made, and he's going to ask me, I guess, a scenario of who I would start and sit.
I mean, I'll be honest. I was making dinner, and I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot to do this.
No, I have faith in you, man.
So we're going to play a game of, if you have these 2 people, who would you rather start? So the first one, we're going to always talk about quarterbacks here. We've got Dak Prescott versus the Los Angeles Rams, or Kirk Cousins at Green Bay.
Oh, man. You really came out swinging.
You got 2 starters in the bet. I say this one because I have both of these guys in a 1 QB league. So,
that's what you're just basing off. You're just trying to help us fix your fantasy roster. Hey, that's what we're here for.
No, I mean it's
what we're here
actually.
for.
I think I've got these 2 in a 2 QB league, but this is a real situation. These are 2 guys that you could have on your fantasy roster in a 1 QB league. Who are you starting this week? Because Dak Prescott's got the Rams. They're a little bit of a favorable matchup, where Kirk Cousins is playing against Green Bay. They've got a pretty tough secondary, but they also just like stomped all over the 49ers. So,
everyone's stomping the 49ers. I know people want to say they're a great defense, and they are, but the 49ers can be had. I'd rather go against them. I'd rather my fantasy quarterback go against them than, let's say, Dallas. That's my observation so far of the season. The San Francisco is great, but they can be thrown on.
Mm-hmm.
Dak's coming off of a bye. These guys are getting a little bit healthier. I know that nobody was majorly hurt, but it's always nice coming off a bye, extra motivation, extra preparation. Kirk Cousins coming off of a huge win against said San Francisco. So we already saw he lit up, the San Francisco defense.
Jordan Addison finally had a good he's had good games, but he had the game of his career so far. So it's a pretty close one, but I almost would lead Kirk. Kirk airs the ball out and is fairly safe with it. I feel like Dak is not as safe with it. CD's not quite there yet. I don't know what's up with CD this year, but he hasn't been like wide receiver, like top 5 wide receiver yet. But CD's got to come out of it. He's going to come out of it soon. It's just when.
Yes. So I'm going to go Kirk Cousins as well. Just because he's playing hot right now. He's actually playing very good football, inspired football. It does suck that he doesn't have Jefferson right now, but I do like Kirk Cousins. Man, I don't know.
It's a tough
Addison.
one.
Yeah, it is. We have a question in the chat. Garrett Wilson or Jordan Addison?
Who's the Jets playing this week?
I'm going to go. The Jets are playing the Giants, and the
Wilson
Giants shut down. The Giants shut down Josh Allen, and they played pretty well last week. So I'm going to go Jordan Addison because I'm stacking him with Kirk.
Yeah. So Garrett Wilson has had a good week, a mediocre week, a good week, mediocre week, good week. Went into the bye. Is this mediocre week, or does the bye skip the mediocre week?
Giants defense is legit. They're pretty good. In the secondary, they hurt quarterbacks. Like they really do damage. Not hurt, but they hurt fantasy production.
Yeah.
We saw it with Josh Allen. We're gonna see it again with Mr. Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson doesn't have stand a chance if Josh Allen couldn't do anything. So
Cap for Life is back.
What's going on, Cap?
Cheetah out until maybe the bye week. I started to hear this.
Didn't practice today. Hip injury. Not looking good. Not looking great at all. We got and Mostert didn't practice today either.
Nope.
So
to be fair, it is week 8, Wednesday. And Mostert is 31 years old. Josh, I know you're not 31 years old, but I am, and I'll be honest, my body hurts after a little bit. So I mean, he's been taking hits for 7 weeks. I don't blame him for not practicing one day.
Listen, isn't it Wednesdays aren't the veteran days, so they take off practice? I'd be more concerned of Tyreek than I would be of Mostert.
Wednesdays, I think what is it, like Thursdays though? Like rest day or whatever. But
yeah, it just stinks. I have Tyreek as well. Most of my redraft teams, I took him first overall in the first round, so that's awful.
I do have him.
This is awful. Hey, this is 2023, baby. The year where we have injury sliders all the way up. If you play Madden, we turned them up to 100. Everyone's getting hurt. It's just a fact of life.
This is why the NFL needs like a G League where they could just the next player up.
I agree. I 1000% agree. All right, so we're all going Kirk Cousins.
Okay, so everybody went Kirk Cousins. So the next one we've got running backs. This one is a veteran versus a rookie. So we've got Jahmyr Gibbs or Derrick Henry. Jahmyr Gibbs goes up against Las Vegas, who just saw Donta Foreman put up 31 points on them last week, and Derrick Henry is at home against Atlanta.
Henry home against Atlanta is intriguing, because that looks like a smash mouth game. That looks like a game of two head coaches wanting to just run the ball down everyone's throat. We heard what the Atlanta coach said today, or at least we saw it on the tweet, where he doesn't really care about our fantasy teams. He's going to ride the hot hand, whether it be Algier, Bijan, or CPAT. Which, hey, I have my opinions on it.
I get it.
I have my opinions on it.
But why do you draft Bijan so highly and then just? I mean, I guess you're got to get him to the playoffs, but I mean,
we can't trash a coach for trying to win football games, and we can't trash a coach for getting. Hold on, hear me out. Let's just say, and we all know it's not true, but let's just say Algier is a better running back than Bijan. Let's just say that, right? Let's just assume it. Okay, they took him 8 overall. It does suck. What is the 49ers doing? They took Trey Lance higher, and they admitted that they were wrong. And they admitted, hey, we don't care when we drafted this guy. We're going to play the quarterback that gives us the right chance, the best chance. Nobody was crying about Trey Lance. Nobody. So why is this guy getting critiqued? But Shanahan over here, he's a god. Everything works out. The Falcons are winning football games too. Falcons are number 1 in the division.
Trey Lance had question marks going into the draft.
I understand.
Bijan was like the top prospect in the draft, apparently. So, now with this Jahmyr Gibbs or Derrick Henry question here, Hunter in the chat says Henry's a guarantee, but Gibbs has more upside right now. I agree. Also, Montgomery's questionable this weekend.
He's not playing.
So I feel like that's going to be an important part because beside Montgomery and Gibbs, it's going to be Gibbs that gets the ball. He saw 87% of the snap share last week without Montgomery. I think he's going to be the guy to go with.
How many? Let me ask you this. So Derrick Henry, I'm probably going to go him if I had to choose one or the other, if I had to, because one, you can't trust Detroit. You just sit here and talk about Atlanta. You don't know what they're doing. They draft Jahmyr Gibbs that high, and they're still using David Montgomery. So it's just kind of the same argument we were just talking about.
Yeah, but Montgomery's hurt and probably won't play.
Listen, but even when Montgomery was in, okay, when they get to the goal line, who's getting the goal line carries? Did Jahmyr Gibbs get any goal line carries last week? Did he get any red zone carries at all?
He has a touchdown. He had a touchdown last week.
He got a touchdown, but we know for a fact Derrick Henry's getting every single goal line carry. We know for a fact.
What if the Titans get behind and
hold on, you never let me talk about that part, because there could be a negative gain script where they are behind because they're starting Will Levis and they're cycling in, Malik Willis. And then all of a sudden we saw this already where when they were down, Tajay Spears is in the background while Derrick Henry's on the sideline holding his helmet. Mm-hmm. So that is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That is an issue. So I am going to pivot over to Gibbs, although Henry is a safer bet to get the most volume.
He is. He's going to get his volume because he hasn't gotten under 50% since the Cleveland game. That was a real stain in the season. But he's right around 53, 55. Like he's not getting all of them anymore.
He's not. And I'm just worried about Jahmyr Gibbs if all of a sudden Craig Reynolds starts going off.
Oh my God.
And then Dan Campbell's like, this guy's a banger, bro. Like, dude, Jahmyr Gibbs had 10 targets last week. If he gets 10 targets, yes, he only had 11 carries. Still, with Montgomery out, Jahmyr Gibbs only had 11
carries. Yeah.
So let's not pretend he gets 10 targets a game, because the week before it was 5, then it was 2. So if he gets 10 targets, yes, sign me up. I can't roll an eye on Jahmyr Gibbs in 11 carries. That's not good enough. That's what I'm saying.
I think with the Las Vegas aspect of that's what puts it over for me, because Chicago did that with a backup quarterback and a third string running back, and they were able to run all over them. I think Gibbs is a lot better than Foreman. I think he's going to have the better shot here, and I'd rather go Gibbs.
And that being said, Baltimore, whenever Derrick Henry last week had 12 carries, 13 carries. So he's not even getting the catches. That's why I boost Gibbs over, because he's still going to get the receptions, whereas Derrick Henry's just not.
Yep. And in today's fantasy leagues, you've got to be able to catch the ball if you're running back.
Yep. But I hope Gibbs needs to get more touches, get more involved.
All right, let's talk about wide receivers. So this one is an interesting flex spot. I think this could be a realistic option here. You got George Pickens versus Jacksonville, or Nico Collins at Carolina.
Is easy. I'm going Pickens. I want the big play. I want the guy who is the favorite target, even though Deontay Johnson did come back and demand a huge target share. I want George Pickens because he's just a stud. He shows me something. Where Nico Collins, we talked about him plenty of times. He's up and down. Tank Dell will be back this week. Mm-hmm. You assume. Noah Brown came back before the bye, and he had like 7 targets. He was involved. They're going to get Singletary and Damian Pearson. There's just a lot of people involved in that offense. And I think it's going to turn into, when everyone has 800 yards, nobody has a solid. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to have no one's going to stand out. They're all just guys, but they're all good guys. Whereas Pickens, I think, is
the guy
kind of breaking through to be that elite caliber if he had a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett.
I think George Pickens is the closest thing for the Steelers that they've had since, like Antonio Brown. Like, it always seems like the Steelers has that one guy that's just a guy. I think George Pickens is that one. This roster, this era of Steelers football. But yeah, I agree. George Pickens is him. In this instance, he's not as touchdown dependent. Nico Collins doesn't really get the targets. He hasn't had a really big game since the Pittsburgh game in week 4, where he scored damn near 36 points and had 2 touchdowns. Since then, he hasn't had a single touchdown. Pickens has 2 touchdowns all year, but he's always putting up points because he gets those targets. He catches the ball when he makes the most of all of his targets. So I think Pickens is the guy if you have to choose between the two of them.
And I want to say this: the route run is huge. Pickens beats him by at least 30 or 40 extra routes ran per game, not per game, but routes ran. He's got a bigger target share by far. It was 26% to 21. Pickens is just the guy there, whereas Nico Collins is just a guy, but he can be safe as well. George Pickens, don't forget, he's a deep threat too. He's number 4 overall in air yards. Air yard share, 44.3% of the air yards on that team go to George Pickens. So he is that main target. He's going to give you that explosion touchdown. Whereas I think on the other side, the Nico Collins side, you're seeing that from Tank Dell. You're seeing that from Noah Brown. We saw that last week or 2 weeks. I keep on forgetting about the bye week, but 2 weeks ago, because I'm highly invested in this offense. I have so many CJ Stroud shares to not watch this offense. And I see who he's going too deep, and I see who he's going too often. And Nico Collins is a third option. People need to understand he only plays when it's a 3 wide receiver set. When it's 2 wide receivers, he's not on the field. And that's huge.
And he's supposed to be touted as the wide receiver 1 on that offense, which is concerning that he's not on there.
And Hunter, I don't know if Deontay is going off. By going off, look, I'm a Deontay guy. But by going off for Deontay is 8 catches for 48 yards. So, look, I respect the PPR magic, right? I'm all about Deontay.
It's 12 points right there.
The guy gets no yak. The guy has no big play threat. He's a solid possession. I can't explain it. I've talked about it all offseason. The only dude with 160 plus targets in 4 years to only have one 1,000-yard season. Everyone else, 160 targets is Diggs, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp level. Those guys are getting 1,700. Deontay Johnson's getting 900, 800. He's just not a big play guy.
If Deontay Johnson played with Drew Brees, he'd have Michael Thomas numbers. I'm just saying.
He might have. He might have. But Deontay Johnson, the biggest target monster that never produces.
Yeah. It's really sad.
Unfortunately, he's great. I think he's great, but he doesn't get the yak. He has no elusiveness. He doesn't break tackles. He just catches it and falls down.
Marvin Harrison did the same thing. He was great. He was a Hall of Famer.
Marvin Harrison made great plays, big plays.
He did.
Can someone show me the highlight of Deontay Johnson running 30 yards down the field, catching a bomb and running it to the house? Can anyone find that clip? Because I don't think it exists. But you'll find the 7-yard out route and he scampers out of bounds. You'll find that. No, I love Deontay. All
right, you want to talk about some tight ends?
Yes.
Okay, so this one is a guy that we've been high on, then we've been low on, and as of yesterday, we're back to being high on.
I don't know about we. Whoever you're about to bring up, I don't know about we. Don't talk. Just put the names up.
Okay, and then a guy who plays 2 positions. We got Taysom Hill at Indianapolis or Dalton Kincaid versus Tampa Bay.
All right. Man.
Let's hear it.
Man, why do I gotta go first all the time? This is a hard one.
Because I'm asking the questions. You don't like it when you have to answer first now, do you?
This is a realistic problem if you have, tight end problems. If you're not one of the few that
this realistically could be people. And the sad thing is I guess it's not sad, it's kind of nice, is that if you do have a tight end and you have no quarterback, you can also play Taysom Hill. So because you still get the same points.
So Taysom Hill is interesting, to say the least, because he's always a threat to run the ball in, to steal carries, to steal, Derek Carr snaps. And if you have any tight end that can play quarterback, you kind of it should be an auto play. It should be wow, he plays 7 snaps at quarterback. Wow, he should be an auto start, but he's not, which is wildly insane to me. That being said, the safety net of Kincaid, of Josh Allen, but they're playing on Thursday night. That's a problem for me. I know that most people keep on downplaying it. It's well known and well documented. Thursday night games are always low scoring.
Unless you're Travis Kelce.
And
that's it.
But only in the first half. He did nothing.
Only the aliens score a lot of points on Thursday night football.
And so That being said, is Dalton Kincaid really a candidate to break out against the Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football on Prime with Al Michaels calling the game, falling half asleep? I don't know. I'm going Kincaid though, just for the safety net. Because Taysom Hill, it seems like he has 20-point games like 3 times a year, and then has the rest of them to be 4 points. For that reason, I'm going Dalton Kincaid. I mean, look at this year. He's done nothing. For the past 2 weeks in a row, he's had 12 and 16 points. But other than that, he's had 3, 3, 3, 8. Like they're just not using him. His snap share was still 38% last week. 38%. So you're going to trust a tight end that only plays 38% of the snaps. That was his season high. They're not using him. Dalton Kincaid.
He did finish as tight end 6 over the last 2 weeks. I mean, you mentioned 12 and 16. Tight end 6 is no joke in the NFL right now. If we think about the last 3 games, it's shown an uptick. They're trusting him more and more in this offense. I think Derek Carr's getting used to him more in that offense because he's never had that kind of tight end. Darren Waller wasn't doing this type of stuff. He's just, like you said, he's not getting the same kind of targets. They're going up against Indy. Indy's been fairly decent, but not great against the tight end position. And I think I'm still leaning Dalton Kincaid on Thursday Night Football, a rookie on Thursday Night Football. It's crazy to think about that. But I mean he is the guy in there now. So that it's gonna be different.
Look,
I'm thinking about he had 8 targets, 8 receptions last week. He didn't get a touchdown, he still scored 15.5 points. So hey, look, we have some Twitch people on here right now. So
what's up, Twitch? What's up, Twitch world?
I don't know anything about the Twitch world, but I was like, hey, let's click this button and see what happens today. Hunter says, I've got Komet, got me 0 last week. Would you guys pick up Njoku, Logan Thomas, Musgrave, or keep riding with Komet?
Komet's such a bum. With Baggett, the worst tattoos I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if I can trust him.
He had 0 against Las Vegas last week.
Yeah, but he's going against the Chargers, who are just awful. We saw Kelsey go nuts. Kelsey went absolutely bananas.
And we all know Kelsey and Komet are basically the same. They've both been tight end 1 at least once this season. So
they have. No, man, that's
Komet's
so hard.
Tight end 9 right now because of that 1 week against Denver. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's tough.
Njoku with PJ Walker, that could be fun.
Musgrave is kind of hurt right now.
You stick with Komet. You stick with Komet because at least he's getting targets. Stick with Komet because at least he got you 0, but he's getting you targets. I want to see one more week with Baggett.
Before we're out on him.
Well, yeah, before you're out. Wait one more week because you don't want to give him up. He's the worst tattoos ever, right? Did you see him?
I try to avoid it. Thankfully, like I follow the Bears heavily, but because I'm in Indianapolis, I don't get the Bears games when they play at the same time as the Colts. So
I don't want my quarterback to have 1 tattoos everywhere on his chest and his arms. And they're bad. If they're awesome, they're awesome. Like Roman Reigns, that's awesome.
So like Will Levis.
Yeah, and I don't want my quarterback to have abs. I just don't. It's too. Look, you need a little bit more belly fat. You're taking those hits. Get some protection, man. You don't need abs. Like, what are we doing here? Too skinny.
All right. You ready for your segment here?
You think Jalen Hurts has abs? No, he's a man. I'm ready for my segment.
I mean, he does, but I'm sure he also they're in a cooler. So
Addison's a beast. I'm glad you won because of Addison. I won a league because of Addison. Hunter, I won a league because of Addison. I had a 1% chance going into Monday Night Football. 1%. Addison is the 1%. All right, so we're going to play some Keep Trade Cut. We have 4 categories. Justin, I'm going to go from top to bottom in our group chat so you don't get confused.
Cool.
So number 1, this is a running back edition. These are all really, really good running backs that I want to know, would you keep, trade, or cut? Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Walker, or James Cook? Keep, trade, and you cut.
I might be not in the same boat as a lot of people here, but I'm keeping Kenneth Walker. He has been a solid stud all season. I'm trading Bijan to get value. I'm going to trade him to get whatever I can out of him. Maybe I can get 2 starters out of Bijan from a team that is stacked in depth. They're probably first or second in their league, and they need that extra oomph to carry them to the championship. I'm trading Bijan to get value, and I'm going to cut James Cook.
Okay, interesting.
Are you
So
flipped on Robinson and Walker?
I'm a little conflicted on Bijan and Walker because I don't believe Bijan is going to be just a 0 all season. I don't think they're just going
he won't.
to so Walker is the running back 7 right now, above Bijan, running back 10, and James Cook is a running back 14. So they're all pretty close to each other. I have notes for everyone except for that's his pick.
Hunter agrees.
That's his
Hunter's my
pick.
guy.
Hunter is
guy.
your. You know what? I like.
He's actually me. I'm over here messaging.
you're just typing it. So anyway, so Bijan Robinson's playoff schedule really sells it for me. He's at Carolina versus Indy and then versus Chicago. That's the playoff stretch right there. Those are all 3 green matchups. I believe Indianapolis and Carolina are for sure bottom of the barrel. Chicago's not really bottom of the barrel, but they're Chicago. They're just bad. They're going to be out of it by week 17. They're probably going to be tanking by then. Players are going to be sitting out, whatever it may be. I kind of want to keep Bijan. Because I think he has the best potential to win you leagues late. And what do we see from fantasy year after year? The running back that goes nuts at the very end of the season, the Rashad Pennies. Remember Rashad Penny? I was smoking a cigar thinking I won a championship. Because I had Jamar Chase go for 60 points or whatever it was. I was smoking a cigar, drinking an old fashioned, watching Rashad Penny tear me apart and have a career damn game. And it's making all you Twitter people still talk about him. That one game. So Bijan could do that against Chicago, Indianapolis, and Carolina. He could have that stretch. Kenneth Walker's great, man. I'm trading him because he is so great. And I can afford to get rid of him because I'm keeping Bijan Robinson. That's where we're split. I feel like Kenneth Walker, he's on a better offense. They have direction. He has no threat to take his job. He is the better player than Bijan, but I think Bijan has a better potential later in the season, and I want to take that calculated risk. And James Cook, to me, I wrote no notes, and here's why. Buffalo running backs.
It's not worthy. Yeah, exactly. Buffalo running backs. Josh Allen's running back.
But he's running back 14. I mean, what point of the season do we have a running back 14 for Buffalo? It usually doesn't happen. So he's definitely better than the guys they had before him, but he's just not on that level of Bijan and Kenneth Walker. I actually put James Cook in there for Dave because I know Dave's a huge James Cook fan. So that's the reason why I put James Cook in there. And that's why I put Bijan in there. And that's why I put Walker in there because I was always Team Walker. I was Team Walker coming out of the draft. I had Walker rated above Bijan in the same draft class. So I'm going to trade Walker because I think he's a better value. I think you'll get more for Walker.
In the same draft class?
Weren't they in the same draft class?
No. Bijan's a rookie.
God damn it. Where was Kenneth Walker last year? And he was above who's the other Brees Hall. I had him above Brees Hall. My bad, guys. I'm fucking tired, man. Family friendly. All right. Yikes. Hey.
Next up.
I had him above Brees. Would you take Brees or Kenneth Walker right now?
Kenny.
Exactly. Because of the injury. It's because of the injury, guys. Chill out. All right, next guy. Keep trade cut. Surprisingly overachieving. How about the Dalvin Cook cliff? Yeah, dude. Dalvin Cook, bro. Dalvin Cook.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Everyone and their mother was like, yeah, you got to take Dalvin Cook. Yeah, you got to take. Dalvin is the guy. It's like.
I drafted him in the 7th round of a startup dynasty this year.
We do this on Tuesdays.
And now, a moment of silence.
Dalvin Cook, man. He should have been buried 3 weeks ago on our Tuesday show.
Bro.
He's done. Moment of silence for that dude. Rest in peace, man. Yeah, Dolphins dodge a bullet. They dodged.
I was like, what are you talking about? Dolphins won that trade. Duh. You know what trade they didn't win, though? The Jonathan Taylor trade.
Yeah, whatever. Jonathan Taylor trade, whatever. All right. Next keep trade cut. surprisingly overachievers. Surprisingly, to most. Jacoby Myers, not surprising to me. Isaiah Pacheco, very surprising, and Mr. Laporta. Mr. I only put up big numbers when I play Josh Laporta. So in this scenario, yes, there are different position guys. Yes, I did that on purpose. Who are you keeping? Who are you trading? Who are you cutting?
This one is tough. Like, this one is actually kind of tough. I think I'm going to have to start with the cut part. And I think I'm going to have to cut. God, no, I don't know. They're all like starting worthy. That's the sad thing. So Myers is wide receiver 12 right now. Pacheco is 8. And Laporta's tied in 4. So really, I have to do what?
That's why I put Laporta, because
Yeah,
he's so
I
like
know.
tight ends are so
like what the hell?
Hunter's like, hey, I have Komet, and I'm like, dude, that sucks. Like,
It does suck.
you should have got Laporta, bro.
So before I read Hunter's response, because he's already put his response in there, I need to get that off my screen actually. Okay, so when they're all like wide receiver 1, RB1 for your fantasy roster, you have to look at the last 3 weeks that they've done, and then 15, 16, 17. So looking at that, Myers plays KC in week 16 to get you to the championship. That kind of sucks. And he plays for Las Vegas. That already sucks. Pacheco has New England, Las Vegas, Cincinnati. You're going to get to the championship with those 3. You're playing with Patrick Mahomes. You have to go up against a Cincinnati team that's also going to be fighting for playoff position, most likely in week 17. Laporta has Denver, Minnesota, Dallas. So, but of the 3, Laporta has performed the worst over the last 3 weeks. And he had a 19-point game 3 weeks ago. So it's really just like, what the? Okay. I've already changed my mind. I'm keeping Pacheco because of the playoff matchups late in the season. And I'm probably going to regret keeping Pacheco, especially if for some reason if Derrick Henry gets traded to Kansas City within the next like 3 days. I'm going to trade. No. I hate this. I hate you for this one. Keep Pacheco. Cut Myers. Trade Laporta.
Trade Laporta, he said. Cut Myers.
To get Laporta for value. Cut Myers because he plays for Las Vegas. They're going to fall off at the end of the season. Keep Pacheco because he's got the easiest playoff matchup.
All right, before we answer that, before I give you my trade cut, keep whatever, Matthew Marks has a question in the chat. All you audio listeners, this is another heads up. If you're just joining the show, please throw a like on the show as well. It really helps out the show. And I said show like 4 times in a row, but all you audio listeners, come over to our YouTube page Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. We're always live. You can ask questions live. I know you're in my DMs, guys. I know you are, because I get them. Just come onto the show and I'll answer them for you live. So would you guys start Najee or Javonte this week? Javonte Williams, that is. So Najee is going up against the Jaguars at home, and Javonte Williams at poor Denver. They're going against Kansas City at home. This is just like,
is Javonte getting like RB1 snaps yet?
Hunter, always blow up the chat. Hold on, Hunter are always welcome to blow up the chat.
Yeah,
anytime.
Always. You're welcome anytime.
You too, Matthew.
Najee got 15 points against the Rams last week on the road.
He scored a touchdown.
He did.
He scored a touchdown.
Only had 14 carries.
But Javonte Williams is going against Denver, but Denver's defense is good against the pass, but they're not so good against the run.
Javonte's going against KC.
Yeah, Kansas City's defense.
You said Denver.
Oh, Denver is
He's on Denver.
I told you guys, I am very tired tonight.
I was just making sure I heard you right.
I was up all night playing Mario 3D World, man, and I am almost beating it.
Issue.
Javonte Williams going against KC. They don't have a great run defense, but how far are they going to be out of the game, right? Is this going to be a close game? Is this going to be game scripted out? Najee, the same situation. You're going against Jacksonville, a hot Trevor Lawrence team. Is he going to be phased out? And Jalen Warren's in there cutting into that offense. And Javonte Williams has this freaking young Jaleel Sarah McLaughlin coming in here. It's taking all of his carries. So that being said, I'm going to go Najee because I just don't want to quit him. They don't ever want to give up. They never want to give Jalen Warren more carries. Javonte could be phased out easily. So I'm going Najee.
I'm going Najee also.
So it's annoying. I'll tell you that. What's up,
Yeah.
Big E? Start Josh Downs or Christian Watson? This is a
Downs.
Justin question.
Downs.
He says Downs.
I don't trust that Green Bay offense yet, or at all, period. I mean, in 3 weeks, Christian Watson has had, and that's all he's played is 3 weeks. He's got like 26 points total. Josh Downs had that last week. But so we got against Minnesota or the Colts against New Orleans. They're coming off pissed from getting screwed over against Cleveland. I'm okay. So New Orleans has a top 10 defense points per game wise, and so far every time the Colts has played a team in the top 10 defenses, they score a ton of points. Somehow Shane Steichen figures it out, and they do well. They've also never not scored 20 points this season, and Josh Downs has proven to be so far, like over the last 2 weeks, Minshew's favorite target. I'm going to Josh Downs this week.
And I have no rebuttal to that. No rebuttal.
We talked about it yesterday. We know it.
So give you that's new.
I think that's a Mac thing. Like if I give you a thumbs up, it's gonna there you
go. Wait. Oh, what if you do this? Do this. Nothing. Oh man. I wish I had a Mac.
Yeah, so I
wish I was rich.
There's reactions. I can do like one of these things.
Wow.
I can do a fireworks. I can do
you have
a laser show.
Wow, you have an iPhone. Congratulations, Justin. We could all do that on the iPhone. All right. So I'm gonna make this simple. I'm gonna cut Myers because of the limited upside. Devontae Adams is still there, and we don't know how that offense is gonna be later in the season. Pacheco is on a killer offense, going to just dominate the goal line work. He's zero competition. Like McKinnon and Kelsey will get those screens on the goal line, but Pacheco is their banger. Unfortunately, I was wrong on him. And Laporta has the hype. You got to find the person that remembers what he did.
So we're
3 weeks ago.
We're 3 for 3 on that one.
Yeah, we're all
okay.
We're
Laporta's got that hype. He's somebody's gonna want him at this point.
Because someone's out there starting Cole Kmet. Someone out there starting Luke Musgraves. Someone's out there looking at the waiver wires going, man, should I draft? Who's the other bum? He said, should I take Logan Thomas, Njoku? No,
Hunter does not sound that way, man. Like Hunter, give Hunter some credit.
Hunter,
we're sorry. Josh is sorry.
I'm sorry, Hunter. I'm sorry. I'm saying God. I didn't even say Hunter. I'm just using his players as an example. I'm talking about the other guys. Hunter knows what to do. Hunter would go get Laporta if he knew he was out there. The other guys
Hunter listens to the show, so he should be like in first in his league at this point.
Pretty much.
All right. So next round.
Hold on, Big E, real quick. Oh. Big E, I have Devontae Adams and Bijan. I want to trade them. What do you think I should do? It's going to be tough to trade both these guys because, Bijan you could probably trade easily. Mm-hmm. Devontae is going to be hard to get rid of because you see the downfall of Devontae. Not the downfall. It's just the offense.
Yeah, that offense doesn't like him.
I was offered CeeDee Lamb and Devontae for 2 players that were lesser, actually. Kenneth Walker and some guy that was way lesser. It was basically he wanted Kenneth Walker. He threw CeeDee Lamb and Devontae Adams at me for Kenneth Walker and Rashid Shaheed, a nobody, like a guy who's not going to help your fantasy team out. I declined it. The reason why I declined it was, do I take on this Devontae Adams headache and CeeDee Lamb was on a bye and I needed Kenneth Walker and I'll have a running back too. So even with 2 mega studs, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, for just 1 Kenneth Walker, imagine declining that trade. It's because I had wanted nothing to do with Devontae Adams. I had no use for him. He's not someone I'm looking to start. I'd rather start a Christian Kirk. I'd rather start, a Josh Downs right now. That's the state of Devontae Adams. You need to hold off and wait till he gets more involved or gets traded. Now, Bijan, you could trade easily.
We're not saying Devontae Adams is a bum.
No.
But that offense is. That quarterback is. His quarterback situation of having 3 different quarterbacks playing this season. That coach is a joke. He's only wide receiver 10 because he had 20 targets in week 3 and scored 42 points. Subtract that week, he's an average player. He's the Chris Olave of the NFL.
Hey, he plays for the
Well,
Saints,
at
man.
least I guess at least Devontae Adams isn't going to jail.
So you try to find. Here's what you do. You get. I mean, I don't know what you're looking for in return, Big E. I just don't know. But I do know this: if you want to move off of Bijan, make sure you get good value. Make sure you get great value. If you're doing well, look at the Jefferson manager. See if you can get Jefferson in another piece, because you're giving Bijan for a hurt player and maybe toss in another running back that they may not need. Maybe a Rashad White, maybe someone like a mid-tier guy. You're not going to get a stud. You're just not going to get 2 studs for Bijan. It's not going to happen.
And I would be trying to move on that sooner than later. We're already 2 weeks into the Justin Jefferson injury, so we're halfway there before he can come off of IR. After this week, you're probably not going to get Justin Jefferson from fantasy managers.
I'm working on it. So
not as easily, at least. Right now, you can get him easily.
Not as easy. So Hunter's tied for first, 4-3. How is your league? 4-3. I'm 4-3, and I'm in like 9th place. The hell, man. The hell. Anyway, next keep trade cut question. Next one. The Senior Citizen Running Back Award.
Oh,
Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, and Derrick Henry. Which one are you keeping? Which one are you trading? Which one are you cutting?
All right, I'm not going to look at stats this time around.
Oh, no stats. We're going from the heart this one, guys. We're going from the heart. Going for the heart, too.
Kamara has been such a killer over the since he's been back. Barkley's offense is not great. And Derrick Henry, again, he loses snaps to Tajay Spears when they're behind. So he doesn't get a lot because the Titans are in full tank mode. I'm cutting Derrick Henry. I'm trading Barkley. I'm keeping Kamara.
You're keeping Kamara.
I'm keeping Kamara.
Wow. Wow. So this is straight from the heart.
Hold
on. You can't change your heart. Can't change that quick.
You could trade Kamara for 2 very, very, very solid players, though.
I'm 1,000% with you cutting Derrick Henry. And it sucks. It sucks because Derrick Henry is an awesome, awesome player. But you got to cut him because unless he gets traded, things can change where he does get traded and maybe he gets to a great team where their last piece was a running back. That'd be awesome. Saquon Barkley to me is the keep. He is the focal point of that offense. He is that offense. Even with Tyrod Taylor, he's still getting involved. You just hope he stays healthy enough. Kamara is on a streak right now. And let me tell you, when Derek Carr stops dumping off to him, he will fall off fast. I mean, Kamara is living and dying with these receptions. And he's also running the ball well. Don't get me wrong, but he's living and dying with these receptions. This is the Kamara we saw from 2018, 17, whenever he was a rookie. This was him. Is this going to continue? Is Derek Carr going to grow some balls and throw down the field, get it to Olave, get it to Michael Thomas, or is he going to keep checking it down every third play?
He didn't do that in Las Vegas. He checked it down to Josh Jacobs a lot too. So I think he keeps going on that. But again, like you said, he's on a streak right now. You could trade Kamara for a haul right now too.
But I didn't give my final answer. I'm keeping Kamara.
Okay.
Because of that reason. I'm keeping Kamara because of that reason. Saquon is that huge name. When you dangle Saquon out there, as you know, I just bought Saquon from you.
People are going for it, man.
People are going to go for that name. People want to buy names.
They've both played the same amount of games. That's the thing. And do you know who's ranked higher?
Probably Kamara.
Kamara is. But people are going to think Barkley is.
People are going to go off the Saquon Barkley because and when you sell this player, if you are, sell it. He's the focal point of that offense. He's awesome. He's this, he's that.
That offense, yeah.
Next one. That was easy.
That was easy.
That was easy.
You had me there for a minute.
We have one more. Keep trade cut wide receiver breakouts. George Pickens, Zay Flowers, or Drake London. We saw Drake London be very good the past 3 weeks. Zay Flowers as well. Zay Flowers is a rookie out there, probably the best rookie receiver we've seen this season. Besides Puka, of course. I didn't want to put Puka on any list because I didn't want to talk about him today.
Zay Flowers is definitely a top 3 rookie wide receiver this year. And the sad thing is, the 3 best rookie wide receivers, in my opinion, were not even talked about in the draft. Zay Flowers was.
Yeah. He was talked about.
But you go into this season thinking it's going to be, JSN, Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, I guess, but Puka,
Well, you got to look at the situations too. Puka was put in a situation where Cup was out and he was the only person there.
yeah.
Zay Flowers is put in a situation where
Puka was also smart and joined that breakfast club with Cup and Stafford.
Yep.
So
all right, so who's breaking out in this one? Who would you keep, trade, cut? You go first.
I am going to cut Drake London. I'm going to, we talked about it, I'm going to keep George Pickens because he is that guy. Zay Flowers, yeah, he gets a lot of middle of the field stuff, but once we get to the red zone, we're looking at Mark Andrews, we're looking at Lamar Jackson, we're looking at everybody else's way except for Zay Flowers. He has 1 touchdown, and that's really the only reason why he had a huge breakout, a huge 17 points. He had a pretty good game. When he doesn't score a touchdown, he's not that great. However, you can get somebody saying Zay Flowers is great and get something out of him. You can probably get a running back out of him. I'm keeping Pickens, trading Flowers, cutting London.
All right, so I want to follow up on Big E's question. He wants to trade Davante Adams straight up for a receiver, just player for player. That's hard to do. It's very difficult to do. Like, nobody's gonna go, oh, let me give you a better player. So like Amon Ra, like Jamar Chase, Adam Thielen, DJ Moore. These guys are out. DJ Moore you could probably do, but Keenan Allen, you're not going to get these guys. So you want to trade down. That's the hard part. Who do you trade down for? Do you want to go down?
And you got to trade down for a player that you anticipate doing well. So you're taking a huge risk just doing 1-for-1 right there.
Davante Adams is a type of player, he can just blow up any minute. I know he hasn't in the past few weeks, 8.5, 4.9. I know he's killing your team. I know it. I get it. He's averaging 16.7 fantasy points a game right now. Are you going to go for someone, hey, like I want someone lower? That doesn't really make sense. You're going to have to package them for a receiver and a running back to get kind of somewhat value. You can maybe knock on the door of the CD Lamb owner, but again, he's only averaging 14.9 points. It's the same. He's not doing well at all. You take the bye week in consideration. He's wide receiver 24, but points per game 14.9, still below Davante Adams, still below a lot of guys, below Michael Pittman, below Nico Collins, below Mike Evans. Like, where maybe you try to get the Brandon Ayuk manager, but again, high target share but low volume.
You think Adam Thielen?
So you maybe the Adam Thielen manager is like, oh, he's going to fall off.
He's going to fall off at some point. He's 33 years old.
But what if he does?
If you're trading Davante, you're taking the risk either way, because what if Davante ends up becoming somebody? What if he is week 3 Davante for the rest of the season? What if that offense finally figures it out and starts doing something?
What if you go to the Thielen manager and go, hey, I'll give you just cold trade, just send an offer. Davante Adams for Adam Thielen and his running back 3. Because you're right there, you're showing him you value Adams more this high.
Yeah.
And so you can't let him, the manager of a Thielen, let's just say if you want him, you can't let him go, man, he really wants Thielen. Make it a point going, I'm trying to help you out. I'm giving you this all-star player for this player that's hot right now. But I'm also going to need another player on top of that. That's how you get the trades done.
And maybe the Thielen manager doesn't really think about the last couple of weeks and realize that most of Davante Adams' points came in week 3.
So that's player.
Might not know that.
That's the only player that's ranked or has more fantasy points than Adams right now that I see you possibly getting. Maybe a DJ Moore, but you don't want. That's a huge step down.
That's even a bigger risk, honestly.
Here's what I would do. Here's what this is the last thing on this. Here's what I would honestly do. I would just go down the list of every team and go, I like this player more than Adams. Just send a trade offer out, whether it be a Christian Kirk or Mike Evans. I would take Mike Evans over Davante Adams right now. Brandon Ayuk, I would take him over him right now. Maybe. And he's been the George Pickens, who we're about to speak about right now. I think I would take George Pickens over Davante Adams, dominating the target share, being a splash player, being the number 1 guy. We just talked about Deontay being back. Drake London, though, has been demanding targets. Drake London has been phenomenal lately, and I don't understand what's happening. Everyone's on on this coach over there in Atlanta. Everyone's on him. Like, well, you're gonna tell us. You have to tell us Bijan Robinson has a headache. No, I don't.
I mean, the NFL says you have to at 11.
If he has a headache, if he gets a headache during like the first quarter, do you have to call in? Hey, boss. One of my employees.
They said during the game, like early in the morning, he got a migraine.
Okay, it's a migraine. You take some Excedrin, he goes away. Didn't think about it. It didn't go away. You really have to report that? Like, hey, my guy took Excedrin. Hopefully he's going to be okay. NFLPA or whoever. Hey, Josh Jacobs has diarrhea. Do you need to know? What the fuck? What are we doing here? What are we doing?
If it's going to mess up his stomach, I would want to know. I mean, as a like, there's a lot of money in sports betting and stuff like that. So I could see
that's their problem. That's their problem. That's the bettor's problem. They take the risk. That's their problem, not my problem. Not the Falcons' problem. There's a lot of money in insurance. There's a lot of money in anything. Who cares? Get over it. You'll live. Anyway, I'm going to cut
Josh's soapbox, and everybody has tuned out.
Yes, I'm going to cut Drake London, unfortunately, because I want a wide receiver on a team that actually throws the ball more than 25 times a game. Although I put Drake London in there because he is getting a huge amount of work. Zay Flowers and George Pickens. This is where it comes down. I'm keeping Zay Flowers. I'm trading George Pickens. Pickens has the more value. You could probably get more out of him. You could probably get a Devontae Adams, who I just mentioned a Big E. You could probably go after and get if you believe Adams is going to bounce back. Zay Flowers and Lamar are just now growing together. They've only played together 7 times. And you see week after week, you say he's not getting the red zone touches. Yeah, he's not. But he did in London. He is getting the opportunity. And then when it's third down, it's no longer just Mark Andrews. It's Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers. It's one or the other. Bateman has taken a huge back seat. OBJ is there for a couple plays. He's there to just be there and help out the team. This is Zay Flowers' room, and they're trying to pass the ball a ton more this year instead of just being a scrambling quarterback. He's trying to prove something, and Lamar's taking that second step. Like, he already got his MVP by running, by being explosive. Now he's going to get a second MVP by throwing the ball. I'm not saying this year because Tua is still – no, he's not. Damn it, Tua is not the MVP anymore. But Lamar is getting up there in the MVP votes, and I do think – why is Ric Flair on my television right now? Holy shit. I do think
if you start wrapping it up, you can go watch him.
Yeah, I know. I do think that Zay Flowers is the alpha in that room, and that's it, man. That's it. So we are going to start getting out of here because I do see Ric Flair coming out on the AEW Dynamite, coming to confront Sting. Of all people, Sting and Ric Flair in the same ring in 2023, people. What are you doing watching me?
What year is this?
That's what I'm talking about.
Are you watching a replay?
I'm watching live, pal, and this is insane. But if you like the show, please follow us on all of our socials. They're right here. All you audio listeners, come to our YouTube page, guys. We're going to be back next Tuesday for the waiver show. I hope you guys all win your fantasy matchups. Justin, you got anything else to say before we get out of here?
I don't, man. I really don't. Just keep following and keep on winning your leagues.
And keep supporting, guys. It really means a lot to us that you're in here. Hunter, Big E, all you guys, thank you so much, guys. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on SFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.